Yes, teacher. Good afternoon.
Morning, ma'am.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
Walaikum
assalam.
assalam, ma'am. How are you?
Good. Yes, a bit good. Okay. 6th of April. And regulation, yes. Okay. So is everyone here?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's check. Nafai Abdul.
Ma'am, he's absent.
Dida Shabas.
Yes, ma'am, present.
Kamar Aisha. Kamar Aisha.
Ma'am, she's absent as well.
Sharfraz Usama.
He's also absent, ma'am.
Rathori Sukhaira Sadat.
Yes, ma'am.
Raza Muhammad Ali. Raza Muhammad Ali. Absent. Hussain Ikra Gulam.
Ma'am, she's present.
Khalid Aisha.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Mifti Rabia. Mifti Rabia. Khan Zaria.
He's absent, ma'am.
Duri Adam.
Present, ma'am.
Ali Faisal.
Present, ma'am.
And Rimsha Shahbaz.
Present, ma'am.
Shahbaz. Okay. Rita Shahbaz and Rimsha Shahbaz. You are
Yes, ma'am, we are sisters.
sisters. Oh, good. Okay. So today we will discuss about regulation. Yes, regulation of cardiovascular system. So how many?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, I want to ask one thing. The PDF from where you teach us, they are not available on Moodle. So where can we find that?
About lecture material you're asking.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. They are not available on Moodle ID.
Yes, yes, you cannot look these lecture materials because they are short. And you may ask lecture materials from Dr. Regina also.
Yes, ma'am. She recommended us the Guyton and Hall, but the main topics that you teach us and all that. So.
Yes, I am teaching also from Guyton and Hall also.
Okay, ma'am.
You can't open PDF files.
No, ma'am.
Mostly they are PPT files, not PDF.
Yes, PPT.
Yes, and you can.
They are not available on Moodle ID.
Okay, let me look them. But yes, you may not. You may also what a website. Yes, there are good websites. You can.
They are so confusing, ma'am.
So confusing? No. I will suggest you in WhatsApp group. Yes, I will suggest the best ones, short and very. Тихо, hey. Okay, wait. Тихо, wait a minute. No. Okay, now yes, we can continue. Okay. Regulation, yes, regulation of cardiovascular system. And please tell me what kind of regulation, regulatory systems do you know?
Yes, ma'am. Regulation of blood flow and regulation of impulses, regulation of cardiac output, and venous return.
Yes, which systems in your body are able to regulate body functions? I mean that.
Autonomic nervous system.
Only autonomic nervous system. Not
Simple
only cardiovascular system, but all systems.
Ma'am, three major systems: hormonal system, nervous system, and
Which third one? Which one is?
third one, ma'am.
I know two systems. Yes, nervous and
Hormonal.
hormonal. Yes, hormonal or endocrine system. Yes.
Third one, ma'am, I forgot.
Chemical system.
Yes. Chemical. It is white term. Yes, white term. Yes, we have two regulatory systems in your body. These are nervous system and endocrine system. Yes, we have nervous regulation and humoral regulation. So do you know difference between them?
The hormonal regulation is directed by the hormones, like the chemical, and as far as the nervous system, they are regulated by the impulses that comes from the brain. Also, the hormones have particular function in our body that, but nervous system has the main control on all the regulation.
And also, what are the differences?
Ma'am, the hormonal system is controlled by the gland, whereas the nervous system is controlled by the brain.
Yes, in the brain we have centers, yes, which integrate
Which
and
conduct the
send
nerve impulses and
hormones.
all.
Okay. Which one is rapid? Which one is rapid?
Ma'am, nervous system is rapid.
Rapid, yes. So if we have some changes, first response nervous system, yes. First response nervous system, rapid, yes, they can give rapid response in within seconds and minutes, yes. And humoral regulation, it is slow reaction, yes, it reacts very slow, while there will producing, yes, production of hormones, and these hormones then obtain it into the blood, yes, and while it reaches the target cells, it takes time, and that's why, yes, this endocrine system reacts slow, but what? For a long, yes, for a long time. effect of nervous system, it is rapid and short, but endocrine system effects reacts slow and long, yes, long lasting. Okay. So yes, we will discuss today how cardiovascular system is regulated. So who will start from which one? Nervous system you will start, or endocrine, humoral regulation? Yes, nervous
Nervous system,
regulation.
ma'am.
Yes. Again. Так. Yes, nervous regulation of heart and blood vessel.
Ma'am, nervous system.
Yes, nervous system. Which part of nervous system regulates heart functions?
मैम सिंपैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम जो है वो sympathetic nervous system play a role in the regulation of blood.
Yes, not only sympathetic. Yes, you must say autonomic nervous system. Yes, autonomic nervous system.
Ma'am, can I answer?
Wait. Wait, I wanted to open one picture. Yes. Who wanted to answer?
Ma'am, Ikra.
Okay. Yeah.
Ma'am, there is a cardiovascular system in the brain. It is a region of the brain that is responsible for the nervous control of cardiac output. And the cardiac output is the quantity of blood that will be pumped into the aorta by each minute. So the cardiovascular system, it forms a part of autonomic nervous system, and it is responsible for the regulation of cardiac output. And then it is located in the medulla oblongata. It has three components: the cardio accelerator center, cardio inhibitor center, and the vasomotor center.
Yes. Okay.
Ma'am, the cardio accelerator center stimulates the cardiac function.
Yes.
The cardio inhibitor center slows cardiac function. It decreases the heart rate and
Force of contractility.
yes, and the third one, the vasomotor center, it controls the vessel tone and the contraction of muscles.
Yes. So we have what heart centers and blood vessel functions. They are separate. Yes, they are separated from each other. Yes, vasomotor, they regulate only functions of condition of blood vessels. Yes, and we have a separate center which regulates heart functions. Yes. Yes. So about two centers, yes, inhibiting and stimulating. So inhibiting center, it is called how? DVN, yeah, DVN, or these are presented by two nucleuses. These are DVN, it means dorsal vagal nuclei. Yes, and nucleus ambiguous. Okay, two centers are what inhibitory centers. Yes, inhibitory centers. We mean that they represent parasympathetic part. Yes, and another part stimulating center. It is how to say how do yes it is called rostral ventral lateral medulla, and it is represented by sympathetic part of heart center. Yes, and another one it is vasomotor center. Yes, we will discuss later. And these are centers. And what about peripheral parts of nervous regulation?
Can I tell?
Who, Ikrar?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you may continue. Yes, finish this nervous regulation.
Ma'am, the peripheral resistance is indirectly proportional to the cardiac output. That means that the changes in diameter, it affects the peripheral resistance and the pressure and the flow, and then overall, which in return affects the cardiac output.
And
the reason behind these are the neurons that release the neurotransmitter norepinephrine and the sympathetic neurons. Yes, ma'am, that's it.
No, I mean which, yes, from medulla oblongata, yes, they rise nerves which innervate heart. Yes, I was asking about this part, peripheral part of nervous system.
Ma'am, the parasympathetic stimulation from the vagus nerve.
Nervus vagus, yes, it is 10th cranial nerve, yes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
This is parasympathetic part. And what about sympathetic part?
The ma'am accelerated nerve from the sympathetic stimulation.
Which part?
Cardiac accelerator nerve from the sympathetic stimulation.
These are ganglions, yes? Near vertebra, we have sympathetic ganglions. Yes, these are
these
parts.
Yes,
cervical. Yes, cervical part from S. Yes, one cervical part and thoracic part, which regulates heart activity. So students, yes, we have sympathetic part. This is sympathetic part, peripheral portion, yes. And this one, parasympathetic part. Yes, these are efferent. Efferent means, yes, they take from, yes, they take origin from the medulla oblongata and then innervate heart. This is efferent part. Afferent part, these are presented by students. Is it clear or you have confused it? We have in regulating, in the nervous regulation, we have receptors, yes. Where I can write, wait a minute. Okay, can I write here? Yes, we have receptors, yes. And then from receptors, impulses sent to the centers, yes, in the brain. These are seconds. First, yes, first these are receptors. Second, it is afferent pathway. Yes, and third, it is center, control center here. And fourth, it is motor neuron. Yes. No. Motor neuron. And finally, it again. Finally, it is effector. Yes. For example, yes, this is heart again. Yes. Here is control center, and fourth one, it is efferent. Yes, efferent, but this one afferent pathway. Let's write here afferent. And these are receptors. Okay, students, Ikra Gulam, she has discussed about centers, yes, in the brain, in the medulla oblongata. Yes, we say they are in the medulla. We have centers which controls condition of blood vessels, and another center which controls. Let's write here also again. In medulla, we have two centers. There is a motor center and another center. It is inhibiting center of heart and stimulating center of heart. Yes, you said three centers. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
A vasomotor center, it also has a suppressing and depressing, yes, stimulating and inhibiting. Okay, so afferent nerve fibers are presented by which nerves? Yes, first of all, let's start with receptors. What kind of receptors are found in the cardiovascular system? Yes.
Ma'am, may I tell?
Who?
Faisal. Ma'am, two type of receptor may present: chemoreceptor or baroreceptors.
Yes, chemoreceptors and baroreceptors. Okay, what are chemoreceptors and where are they located? And baroreceptors, yes? Yes. Where are they located? Chemo and baroreceptors.
Ma'am, baroreceptors are present on the bifurcation of common carotid artery on the posterior surface of common carotid artery. And chemoreceptors are present in the aortic arch.
Yes, in the carotid sinus and aortic arc. You know, they are located chemoreceptors and baroreceptors. Okay. Yes, carotid sinus, it means bifurcation of common carotid artery. Yes, two internal and external carotid arteries. Yes, and in this angle we have located baro and chemoreceptors. Okay, and also here in the aortic arc. Okay, and from these receptors, what? From these receptors, where is our start? impulses, yes, when they are stimulated, these impulses, then what? Transported to the brain, through which nerves? What are the afferent nerve fibers? Yes, first one, this is a receptor, yes, we said about chemo and baroreceptors, and from them start impulses, and they are transported by afferent nerve fibers. So what are afferent nerve fibers in cardiovascular system? Especially heart, yes, when we talk about heart, from heart impulses transmitted to the brain through which nerves?
Through afferent vein.
Yes, which one? What is the name of this nerve?
Afferent nerve.
Ma'am, glossopharyngeal.
Glossopharyngeal and yes, afferent fibers of nervus vagus. Yes, glossopharyngeal 9th and 10th cranial nerve send impulses from these receptors to the brain. Yes, to the medulla oblongata. Yes, and in the medulla oblongata there will be interpretation, and again yes, if there was increased blood pressure, yes, these centers in the medulla oblongata inhibit sympathetic stimulatory part, yes, and stimulate parasympathetic part, yes. Yes, let's say this is vasomotor center, vasomotor, and this one is inhibiting center and stimulating center. When we have increased pressure, blood pressure, so there will be inhibition of sympathetic part. For example, yes, let's say this is S sympathetic and this is parasympathetic. So there will be inhibition of the sympathetic part and stimulation of parasympathetic part. At the same time, in vasomotor center, we have also suppressing and depressing centers, yes. So there will be activation of depressing center and inhibition of suppressing center. And again, by the efferent, now it is efferent, yes, efferent nerve fibers with nervus vagus. Yes, again. So nervus vagus, yes, and sympathetic part, it is via spinal cord. On the spinal cord, we have the cervical thoracic part. Yes, these are sympathetic trunk, I mean ganglia, yes, nearby vertebra, and they will inhibition of sympathetic part. It means they will slow down. Yes, they won't send any stimulatory impulses to the heart because it is inhibited. And stimulation of parasympathetic part, it means yes, a nervus vagus affects effects of nervus vagus is positive, negative, yes, chronotropic, negative dromotropic, yes. Chronotropic means nervus vagus will decrease heart rate, yes. Inotropic means it will decrease force of contractility. Dromotropic means it will decrease velocity of impulse conduction. Yes. Yes, students. And what is the difference between chemo and baroreceptors?
Ma'am, baroreceptors help regulate the diameter of the blood vessels, whereas the chemoreceptors, they monitor the oxygen, carbon dioxide, and pH level of the blood, and they basically contribute to the homeostasis of the cardiovascular system.
Baroreceptors, they sense what? Change in the diameter of blood pressure, yes? Oh,
Yes.
sorry, blood vessels, sorry, blood vessels. So these are types of mechanoreceptors, and and they give response to the degree of being stretched, yes? If they are stretched more, then they get stimulated. If they stretched less, then the firing level is decreased. So when arterial blood pressure increases, what happens?
When the blood pressure increases, the receptor rate is high as well, and this triggers parasympathetic stimulation of heart. So as a result, blood flow, like cardiac output will decrease, and the, the receptors will be stretched more tightly if when the blood pressure is increasing.
They are stretched more, yes, more, and there will be increase in their firing, yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, when blood pressure is
when
low.
blood pressure is too low, the firing rate will be decreased. And this will this will also trigger an increase in sympathetic stimulation of heart, and the cardiac output will increase. This will also resist this.
And chemoreceptors, yes. Chemoreceptors, they sense change in the chemical constituent of blood, such partial pressure.
Oxygen, such as the level of oxygen, carbon dioxide, and the pH of the blood.
Do you know the normal values of these?
Normal values?
What is the PO2?
Ma'am, the pH of blood usually means between a range of 7.35 to 7.45. And the oxygen level of blood will come in the range like
yes, pH it is between 7.35, 7.45. Yes. Oxygen partial pressure. It should be between 80 and 100. Yes. If it is less than 80, we call hypoxia. Yes. And what about partial pressure of carbon dioxide? Yes, when this there will be change in these characteristics, yes, then these chemoreceptors are stimulated, yes, and they are located also in the carotid sinus and aortic arc, and yes, they send impulses to the brain center. Yes, for example, if there is a hypoxia, yes, decreased level of oxygen, they are stimulated and they send impulse to the brain, to the control center in the medulla oblongata. Yes, and it will cause what? If partial pressure of oxygen is decreased, it will cause activation of sympathetic part, yes, and inhibition of parasympathetic part. And there will be increase in heart rate, force of contractility, and at the same time there will be increase in ventilation, yes. And more oxygen we breathe in, and carbon dioxide is exhaled, and again these values return back to normal. Understood, students, about chemical nervous regulation?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions from nervous regulation?
No, ma'am.
I have a question for you. Innervation of blood vessels. Yes, how blood vessels are innervated. About heart, we said yes, it is easy. Yes, the nervus vagus and cervical and thoracic part of sympathetic trunk. Yes, and what about innervation of blood vessels?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, the blood vessels can receive the innervation from the sympathetic vasoconstrictor neurons,
Mm-hmm.
and it may be sympathetic or parasympathetic vasodilator neurons.
So they are, you think that they are innervated both by sympathetic and parasympathetic?
Yes,
Right.
vasoconstrictor and then vasodilator.
Так. But you can see here, yes, you can see here. What? Most of blood vessels, they are innervated by only sympathetic nerve fibers. There's no parasympathetic, and constriction and vasodilation depends on either they are stimulated nerve fibers or they are inhibited. Okay, there is no innervation by parasympathetic, only sympathetic. You can see here, yes. In the heart, you see what we have, yes, afferent part. Yes, this is nervus vagus and ninth cranial nerve. And efferent, this is presented by parasympathetic part. It is presented by nervus vagus. Sympathetic part is presented by sympathetic efferent neurons, motor neurons from spinal ganglia. But when we say about blood vessels, there is no parasympathetic innervation. Okay, there is only sympathetic innervation, and constriction, vasoconstriction, it is achieved by stimulation of these sympathetic nerve fibers, which innervate blood vessels. Yes, there will be release of neurotransmitter. What is a neurotransmitter in the sympathetic nerve fibers? Yes, students, what is the neurotransmitter in sympathetic nervous system? What is a neurotransmitter? Yes, students, in sympathetic postganglion
Ma'am, the
nerve.
chemical messenger.
Norepinephrine.
Again?
Chemical
Ma'am, is
messengers.
So the name, I mean the name of this
ma'am,
neurotransmitter.
ma'am, norepinephrine.
Norepinephrine.
Epinephrine.
Yes, epinephrine and norepinephrine. So these nerve fibers, sympathetic neurons, they release norepinephrine. Yes, and epinephrine. Yes. Parasympathetic. Yes, these nervus vagus, they release which one?
Acetylcholine.
Yes, you can see here. Yes, acetylcholine. Yes, it releases acetylcholine. So, and these acetylcholine and norepinephrine, they bind to receptors on the, for example, yes, in the smooth, yes, in the vessels we have smooth muscles. Yes, and smooth muscles, they have receptors on their membrane for norepinephrine and epinephrine, and they are called adrenergic alpha 1, alpha 2 receptors. Yes. And on the heart, in the heart, we have for norepinephrine and epinephrine, we have beta 1 receptors. Okay. This epinephrine, which is released from sympathetic neurons, they bind with the beta 1 receptors in the heart. Yes, and cause increased heart rate. Yes. And acetylcholine, it binds with another receptor, which are called muscarinic receptors. Yes, muscarinic. How? Muscarinic. 1, 2, 3. I guess 3. Muscarinic 3 receptors. Okay, and cause a decrease in heart rate. Yes, opposite direction, opposite effect. Okay, students, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next, humoral regulation. What is humoral regulation? And which hormones can act on the heart? Yes, on heart and on blood vessels. Okay, humoral regulation, it is through hormones. Yes. Yes, students. Here you can see hormones. We have hormones which affect blood vessels and heart directly. And we have other hormones which affect blood volume. Yes. And because of this, they can increase or decrease blood pressure. So which of these hormones, yes, which of these hormones can affect directly blood vessels? Who can give example hormone which can affect directly blood vessels? Or it means they can increase they can stimulate vasoconstriction or vasodilation. Yes, according to that, we divide hormones, yes, to vasoconstrictors and vasodilators. Yes.
Ma'am, the thyroid hormones.
Mm-hmm. What causes thyroid hormones?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
They affect directly heart, yes?
ma'am, the epinephrine and norepinephrine.
Mm-hmm. Yes, example, epinephrine and norepinephrine. In this case, they are not neurotransmitters, they are hormones, yes?
Yes.
We said about epinephrine, norepinephrine, which are released from neuron endings, yes? These are neurotransmitters. But now we are talking about hormones. So epinephrine and non-epinephrine, they are released, produced by which gland?
They are produced by they're produced by the adrenal
Adrenal.
Ma'am,
medulla.
adrenal medulla.
Yes, adrenal medulla. Yes, we have adrenal glands. Yes, it has a cortex and it has medulla. So in the medulla, these epinephrine and norepinephrine, they are produced and then they are absorbed into the blood. Yes, and that's why we call them hormones, not neurotransmitters. Yes, because they are present in the blood. Okay,
Yes.
and these hormones then affect, yes, the same. They have the same receptors, yes, in the heart, yes, beta 1 receptors, and in the blood vessels they have alpha 1, beta 1, alpha 1, alpha 2 adrenergic receptors, and they cause what kind of effects? Epinephrine and norepinephrine, they cause what?
Ma'am, they
Increase
cause
of
a
heart.
flight response. They can either increase heart rate or affect the contraction of the blood vessels.
Mm-hmm. Contraction of smooth muscles and cause vasoconstriction.
Mm.
Yes, when there's a vasoconstriction, blood pressure rises.
Will increase.
Yes. Okay, and on the heart, they cause,
Increased heart rate
yes,
and
increased heart rate. Yes. And about thyroid hormones. Yes, someone said about thyroid hormones. What do they do on heart rate? How they affect heart rate? Norepinephrine, epinephrine, and dopamine. Yes, we have also
Ma'am,
dopamine. Yes.
ma'am, the thyroid hormone, it increases the force of contraction of the heart muscles,
And
and therefore there will be an increase in the amount of oxygen needed by the heart,
mhm,
and this will cause the heart rate to increase.
yes, yes, increase. Yes, it causes increased heart rate. Yes,
Yes.
and people who have hyperthyroidism, yes, hyperthyroidism, they usually have also tachycardia. Yes, tachycardia, and even how it is called, mia, or how it is called, tachycardia. Yes, tachycardia. I can't remember. And other, yes, other. Can you give other hormones which cause vasoconstriction. Yes, here is written renin, angiotensin, aldosterone. Yes, from these hormones, which one cause direct vasoconstriction and increase blood pressure. Yes, okay. Yes, angiotensin 2. Yes, angiotensin 2. It is also a powerful vasoconstrictor, more powerful than 1. And where it is produced, angiotensin 2. Yes, students, angiotensin 2. Yes, students, did you read hormones?
No, ma'am.
You didn't read. Why? This is also a topic of
Ma'am, the
regulation.
teacher did not taught this yet.
Again?
Yes, ma'am. The teacher did not taught us this topic yet.
Yes, I guess she will discuss it in this week. In this week
Yes,
on,
ma'am.
yes, your practical classes are what? Before, yes, by schedule they are before your lecture classes.
Yes, ma'am. That's
That's
why
why.
we haven't done this yet.
Yes. Angiotensin 2. Yes, it is also powerful vasoconstrictor, and it is converted from angiotensin 1 by the enzyme, angiotensin converting enzyme in the lungs. Yes. So, okay, vasopressin. Do you know about vasopressin and the telin? Okay, students, about hormones, you will read at home, yes. And also we have to discuss blood flow, regulation of blood flow, yes. So how blood flow is regulated? Every tissue and organ, it has its own auto-regulation, yes. It means that they are able to regulate their own blood flow according to their metabolic needs, yes. And this is called local regulation or intrinsic regulation, or it also called auto-regulation. So yes, we have discussed about this also in microcirculation, yes. So which organs in your body have excellent auto-regulation?
Ma'am, the brain, the heart, and kidney.
Yes. Kidneys, brain, and heart, they have excellent autoregulation. Yes. And muscles, spinal organs like your stomach, intestine, liver, and blah blah, they have moderate autoregulation. And organs such skin, yes, they have skin and adipose tissue. They have little, even they don't have autoregulation. So all these organs, they maintain a constant blood flow despite changes in perfusion pressure. Yes, no matter increase it or decrease it blood pressure, they can maintain constant blood flow. Yes, and how this regulation is achieved? What are the mechanisms of that?
Ma'am, for kidney, the renal blood flow.
Renal blood flow, for example, yes. How it is regulated?
Ma'am, it is a hemostatic mechanism that protects the kidney from the arterial pressure. And when it would be transmitted, then to the glomerular capillaries, then it will cause an injury.
Yes.
It is mainly accomplished by increasing or decreasing arteriolar resistance. When the arteriolar resistance increases, then the renal blood flow will decrease. Adrenaline and then the angiotensin, it will decrease these two hormones.
Yes, if we have increased blood pressure, yes, increased blood flow in the renal glomeruli, yes, glomerulus, then yes, the production of angiotensin, renin, yes, it will be decreased, yes, because they will cause vasoconstriction again, yes, and furthermore increase in blood pressure. And they there will be no, sorry, no, students, no, yes, no, we said wrong, yes, when there will be increased blood pressure, there will be increase in renal blood flow, yes.
Ma'am, when the arteriolar resistance increases, then in return it will reduce the renal blood flow.
Arterial
The resistance,
resistance.
I'm talking about the resistance.
Resistance, when resistance increases.
There are two hormones, ma'am, that act on the arterial resistance. Like they increase the arteriolar resistance. And in return, those two hormones, they decrease the renal blood flow if the arteriolar resistance is increased.
Okay. Yes, I was saying about when we have increased blood pressure, blood flow will be increased or decreased. Increased blood pressure will cause what? Blood flow. How does it change when we have increased blood pressure? It also increases, yes? Increased blood pressure causes increase in blood flow, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so uh, so to bring this blood flow back to normal, what there will be myogenic response. Yes, it is myogenic response, theory of myogenic response, in which what happens? Uh, uh, blood vessels. Yes, when we have increased blood pressure, uh, the baroreceptors, they sense more stretch. Yes, more stretch on the wall, and that's why they respond by contracting. They respond by contracting and decreasing, bring back, decreasing blood flow. It means that they bring blood flow back to normal by vasoconstriction. When we have increased blood pressure, it will cause vasoconstriction of arterioles. Yes, to bring back to bring blood flow back to normal. Yes, this is called myogenic response. It is due to baroreceptors. Okay, when high arterial pressure stretches the vessels, this in turn causes reactive vascular constriction. Yes, that reduces blood flow nearly back to normal. And conversely, the opposite, yes, when we have low pressure, the degree of stretch of the vessels is less, so that the smooth muscles relax and allows more blood to flow, yes, to this tissue. Okay, this is a myogenic theory, and we have another theory which is called metabolic. Who knows what is a metabolic theory? Yes, students,
Ma'am,
what is
is it like if there is an increase in metabolism rate, the, this leads to an increase in blood flow to for example, if there is a specific tissue where metabolism is increasing in it, there'll be an increased blood flow towards that tissue. Or
yes?
towards that.
Yes. Increasing blood flow in that tissues which have increased metabolic activity. Yes. For example, yes, we can give example. For example, increase that
For example, if there is increased metabolic activity in muscle cells, like when exercising, right?
yes, during exercising, yes.
During exercise, when there is an increase, there'll be an increased activity on the muscle cells, so this muscles will have a higher metabolic rate, so they will require more oxygen. They will require more oxygen and more nutrients in order to release that energy for exercise. So the blood flow, the blood vessels will contract accordingly in order to provide more blood flow to the muscles.
Yes. So blood flow to the skeletal muscles will be increased, yes, as comparing to other organs. yes, when during exercising. And another example is when we take food, yes, take food, the blood flow to the GI tract is increased also, yes, as comparing to the skeletal muscles, yes, there will be more blood flow into GI tract because, yeah, they are now they have increased metabolic activity, yes, they have increased function to digest the food, yes. And yes, increase in coronary blood flow when we have increase in heart rate, and increase in cerebral blood flow or when we have increased neuronal activity, yes. Okay, this kind of things. Why this happens? When they are active, why there will be more? What is the mechanisms of that? Yes, this is called active hyperemia. Okay, when we have increased metabolic activity causing increased blood flow to this organ, it is called active hyperemia. Okay. And yes, what is the mechanisms of that? Yes, you can see here is example that blood flow to the skeletal muscle can be increased up to 50-fold during maximum exercising. And yes, the main reason of increasing blood flow, it is what um, um, combination of tissue hypoxia and the generation of vasodilator metabolites such as yes, when organ active, yes, it utilizes there will be utilization of oxygen, nutrients, yes, more, and producing waste products, yes, metabolites also in more, yes, in more amount. Yes, these are like carbon dioxide, potassium ions, nitric oxide, adenosine. Yes, these are mostly cause vasodilation. Okay, and that's why there will be again what increase in blood flow to these organs due to vasodilation. Yes, understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And yes, this is active hyperemia. And yes, we have active hyperemia and reactive hyperemia. What is reactive hyperemia? This is mostly after pathologic blockage of blood flow. Yes, pathologic reduced blood flow. After that, there will be reactive hyperemia. So what increase in blood flow in a tissue when its circulation is re-established after a period of occlusion, and this more than compensates for a decrease in blood flow that has occurred during occlusion. So after occlusion of blood vessels that supply this organ, yes, after re-establishing this occlusion, there will be increased blood flow to this organ. And this is called reactive hyperemia. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, during occlusion in the tissue, there will be ischemia. Yes, ischemia. A brief period of ischemia. So it occurs after the blood supply to a tissue is blocked for a short period of time. And after that there will be increased blood flow for that period of time during which there was occlusion. So if occlusion was for 5 minutes, yes, occlusion there was for 5 minutes, then increased blood flow is also lasts for 5 minutes. Okay, these are approximately the same. For example, yes, it occurs for removal of tourniquet, restoring of blood flow to coronary artery after recanalization. So during this ischemia, what happens in the tissues? There will be again accumulation of metabolites, waste products, which cause again vasodilation. Yes, lactic acid, for example. Yes, some organs they can have anaerobic respiration and accumulation of lactic acid and other. They cause decreased pH, decreased local pH, and which then causes vasodilation. Okay. Okay. So nitric oxide, it is main vasodilator, yes, main and powerful vasodilator. So here are the mechanisms of activation of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide binds with the receptor on the smooth muscle, yes, membrane of smooth muscle, and this activates G protein subunit is I subunit, and this in turn activates guanylyl cyclase. Yes, guanylyl cyclase. This will convert GTP into cyclic GMP. Okay, and cyclic GMP then decrease calcium concentration in the cell, and when we have less calcium, then muscles relax. Yes, smooth muscle relax.
Ma'am,
Yes.
we have another class after 15 minutes.
Okay. Short, long term. Okay. So with this, with today's topic, yes, we are completing cardiovascular system. In our next class, we will start the respiratory system. Your lectures will be continued from cardiovascular system, but you also start reading respiratory system, okay? First topic. For the next class, there will be structure, functions of respiratory system, okay? Okay, functional structure of respiratory system, okay, and all functions of respiratory system. Okay, that's all, students.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
bye-bye. See you next class.
Bye bye.